Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Rod. I'm the marketing manager for Monster in the UK. We're really excited today to be sharing the enhancements with you to our CV search engine, SearchMonster. It's been based on customer feedback. There's been a lot of work gone into it to improve the system. I think you'll be pleased with some of the enhancements. So I'm going to pass you over to Joe Emerson, and Joe is going to be talking us through these today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rod. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I hope everybody's having a good day so far. Firstly, I'd just like to hope that everyone can hear me clearly. I know many of us are now working from home at the moment, so there's often a few teething problems with connectivity and things like that. Don't worry, the webinar is being recorded, so you'll certainly have the opportunity to listen again. The webinar today will probably last for just around 15 or 20 minutes. We don't have time for a Q&A today. However, if you have any questions, just please feel free to send them over in the chat and we'll come back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so I'd just like to quickly introduce myself, as Rod already has as well. My name is Joe Emerson, and I'm a customer experience specialist here at Monster. I've been with Monster for the last 2.5 years, so I've looked at the old search platform, and with the evolution of the new SearchMonster as it's come in, and now with the new updates that we're looking at today as well. So as you've already guessed, and we have explained, I'll be presenting today the SearchMonster enhancements, and they came into effect as of the 22nd of October. Additionally, as well, I'd like to mention that this webinar is tailored for recruiters and clients who have already used the platform. So if you're new to SearchMonster, that's absolutely fine, but I would recommend you to view our online training material as well, which can be found in the Monster Resource Centre. A bit more about our training material is that we have lots of step-by-step videos. So if you want to know how to set up campaigns or know all of the functions about SearchMonster, they are really great, and we'll give you a clear explanation on how to do almost everything on the platform with best practice guides, etc. As I say, from today, we are just specifically focusing on the new enhancements. Okay, so what's coming in SearchMonster? Well, as I say, what's already arrived actually is it did come live on the 22nd of October. And as Rod mentioned as well, and as stated in this slide, we've undergone some major improvements for SearchMonster. And the reason we've made these enhancements, well, is just to ultimately improve the user experience. We wanted to make the platform as efficient and effective to use as possible. We do really appreciate the feedback that we receive from all of you regarding usability over the past few months, as this has helped us to understand what you considered important when we are deciding on the improvements to make. Okay, so we can now start with looking at the dashboard slide, and we can go straight into what the enhancements offer on this first page. And as I said, with SearchMonster undergone these major improvements as well. The first thing you'll probably initially notice is that we've improved the way it looks. So we've changed it for the look of the site to incorporate a more contemporary design, so it's just more globally branded. It has a new look and feel about it. We've also updated the search function names to avoid confusion. Previously, we called semantic search default search, and now they simply state Boolean and semantic. As part of this change as well, we've added information icons next to each search function in order to clearly explain the search parameters, namely the Boolean search operators and commands. So for instance, if you did want to know more about that, you can just click on the information icon and you'll be taken to a guide relating to Boolean. As part of this change as well, we've, as I say, with the information icons, we've also added the new advanced options, which is a really great new feature, and you'll notice it on the right-hand side. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but it is a really great new enhancement that will enable you to incorporate all search information in one place, and I'll go into more detail regarding that a little bit later. Okay, so also on the right-hand side of the dashboard underneath the advanced options, you'll notice we now have the inventory counter. This will show you at a glance what you've purchased and what you have remaining. This can also be disabled by the administrator or the main user on the account under company settings, if for any reason you would not like it to be visible. The inventory counter will also show you a traffic light system connected to the inventory you have remaining. So if you have inventory that's over 50%, it will display it as green. If between 25 and 49%, it will show it as yellow. And if below 24%, it will show it as red. As I say, it's just simply there so you can keep tabs on how much inventory you have left in case any action is needed. We do briefly mention the bulk actions on here. You can see an arrow is highlighting this, but I'm going to talk about this in a later slide. So what we can do now is we can have a closer look at those advanced options. So let me just go to the next slide now. So this is how the new advanced options look. It will be all encompassing though on one page, so it won't be split up like this. This is just to so we can explain it clearly to you, the different sections that we have. So the old search process meant we needed to add additional search criteria by selecting Manage Fields in the search results dashboard. We would then add the criteria one by one and adjust accordingly. It maybe wasn't the fastest sort of approach, so we've come up with this new method, and that is using the newly advanced options. The newly advanced options will mean you can just put all of your search criteria in the same place at the same time. So it will just speed up the process of inputting search criteria and allow you to access the suitable candidates just much faster. Okay, so there are 3 possible sections to fill in. There are candidate types and work authorization, resume search criteria, and profile search criteria. A lot of the information is quite self-explanatory in terms of what you're going to input, but I would like to point out the difference between resume search and profile search criteria. Resume search criteria is information that is taken directly from the CV. So if you put it in here and it's in the CV, then it is going to show up. Whereas profile search criteria, on the other hand, is optional information that candidates can choose to add when setting up their Monster account. So it's not mandatory for them to put this information in at all. It is just completely up to them when they're setting up the account, which is completely unlike the resume search criteria, which definitively has to be there. With that being said, the best practice, in my opinion, would be to add the resume search criteria initially, and then if you need to narrow your search, you can start adding profile criteria after you see the results. And then once you've added the search criteria in the advanced options page, you can simply just select search at the bottom, as it's shown in the slide. And then you're taken straight to the job search results page or search results dashboard, and you'll be able to filter down any results that you want to and carry on the search and look at the candidate straight away. Okay, so moving on now, we can have a look. We can now have a look at the new search functionality for the search cards. So the search cards have been adapted to include a lot more information. The first thing that you'll probably notice is that we have a new search bar within the search function. Sorry for the repeated use of the word search throughout this webinar. It kind of goes hand in hand with explaining a search platform. So yeah, we do have this search bar, which means that you can bring up any search cards that you've previously created. Just type the name of the search card in there and it will pop it up straight away, and just is an easier way for you to find that information. Another change you'll notice is the search cards now display far more job search criteria, such as title, location, and skills used for that search. Up to 5 or 6 pieces of search criteria will be displayed on the card. Also, if you have notifications set up on the search, you'll now see a bell icon in the top right corner of the card. We certainly recommend having notifications set up, as this will alert you if any new CV that matches your search has been added to the database. So, I mean, for instance, if you did have a really good search set up, you're keeping an eye on it, you're wanting to find candidates, and you can set the notifications up, and bing, straight away you'll get a message as soon as a new CV matching this appears. So it means you can action it straight away and you can message the candidate. Moving down the card, there are now 3 options as well to select in the bottom right corner, which are clone, archive, and delete. Delete and archive a search were already options. However, now you can also clone a search. It's basically just another time-saving function where, for instance, if you wanted to use the same search criteria but with a different location, you can simply select clone, change that one piece of differing information, in this case the location, and then you're ready to go. Once you click clone, the card just appears on the dashboard. But please bear in mind as well, other data such as email campaigns, favorite candidates, and search notifications will need to be set up separately. One thing also to mention is just to be aware that if a campaign is associated to a search, the delete icon won't show up. You can archive the search, but you can't delete it. However, you can delete from the archive window if the search is over 6 months old. Like I mentioned those resources as well earlier, you'll notice we now have a help link at the bottom of this page. So this will take you straight to the resource center where we have guides relating to best practices and videos, tutorials taking you step by step through all of the platforms, and that's relating to job posting as well as SearchMonster. Lastly, there is another feature on the search cards I'd like to show you. If you have a campaign running on a search, a campaign icon will be displayed on the bottom left corner of the card. If you click the icon, you'll be taken to the performance dashboard to see your campaign statistics. And we can see how that looks in just a second. Moving away from the card itself now, you'll notice we have a bulk actions toggle underneath the Save Searches tab. In this slide, it's not active, but once you activate it, you can select all or click any boxes applicable to either archive or delete. We can actually take a look at that now. Okay, so this is the view once you activate the bulk actions, and here you can select any applicable boxes to archive or delete. And as I mentioned earlier, in this next slide, this is the campaign statistics, which can be accessed with one click from your search card. So a lot of these new features that we've added just means it's going to speed up the process of you finding information and being able to action anything you need to. So it's some of these are smaller changes, but when you add them all up together, we think they really do make a big difference. Okay, so once you've filled in all of your search criteria at the beginning, when you first go onto SearchMonster, and you've put in all of the information into the advanced options and you press search, you'll be taken to the search results dashboard. And that's where we can go now. Okay, so this is the search results dashboard or job search results page. I can explain a few of the new features that we do have on here now. So the expand and collapse function we do have, which has been added onto the top. So the left pane of the screen, just to reiterate, first of all, the left pane of the screen is now emulating the advanced options page. So the criteria that you input at the beginning will be exactly the same as you entered in the advanced options. Instead of having the manage fields option where you previously added the criteria one by one, every option is now available and you can simply expand or collapse as needed. The update button is now what we call sticky, so it means it just stays in exactly the same place when you're scrolling up and down. So the update button will just stay in exactly the same place as you enter any different filters. It will just move alongside. And alongside it, you also have an undo and clear all option as well. Okay, so just to reiterate, you can make all of the modifications to a search on the left pane. Update the title and change any search criteria, adding any additional filters that you need. So no need to go into that manage fields and open it up and add more. And we've just taken out that step to make it a lot clearer and more simple. Okay, and I would like to draw your attention. This is a really, really great new feature that we have, and it's the activity icon. So on the candidate profile cards, which you see, we have added this newly added icon, which is for the activity. You'll now be able to easily identify candidates who have been contacted by a recruiter in your organization within the last 12 months. Just click on the activity icon and you'll go directly to a candidate's activity information. As I say, it's just to save you time and for you to avoid contacting the same candidate twice, as well as informing your colleagues of any sort of potential suitability as well. I would really encourage you all to utilize it as much as possible. The more sort of notes and information you can add to a viewed candidate, the more time and credit you'll save in the future, as well as keeping colleagues just informed of sort of possible candidate suitability as well. Okay, so these are the main sort of 11 enhancements that have been implemented into SearchMonster. However, we are constantly updating our resources and looking for new improvements wherever possible. This is really just part of the evolution of SearchMonster. So there could be some, there's certainly going to be other updates throughout 2021 in relation to what potential things we can do to make it a better user experience for you all. And so if you want to continue providing us this feedback, we really do take it seriously and really want to make sure that you find the platform as easy to use and you can use it as effectively as possible. Okay, so once again, as I say, thank you very much for the feedback. I really appreciate you tuning in today and listening to this webinar. If you do want to reach out, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to message and we'll be more than happy to help. So thank you ever so much and good luck with finding all of your suitable candidates.
Okay, Joel, that was great. Thank you. Really very informative. And the feedback we're already getting from customers using the new systems, the changes are working well, making hiring faster and smoother. Thanks again to everyone who joined us today. We will be sending out a link to a recording of the webinar. If you have any questions, please reach out. You can reach out as well to your account manager or to Monster Customer Services. We'll be happy to help. As Joe mentioned, we have a library of online training videos that are also constantly being updated, and we do really appreciate the feedback.